Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, be sure to come join us. And today's guest, she's a part of our community, Shayla Vaughn. And Shayla, welcome.
Thank you. Hello. It's so lovely to be here, to
Awesome,
be
great.
here virtually. Yeah.
Yes, great having you here. Great being in the same room with you, right? Yep. And so, as you know, guys, the main purpose behind this show is to just to show you how individuals are building businesses, changing their lives, whether it's through coaching, consulting, or just providing services to help individuals through this time in terms of what's going on in the world today, and just basically using it to create success for themselves in their lives as well too. So Shayla, she is a yoga instructor and lifestyle coach. Is that right, Shayla?
Yes, that is right. Yes.
Awesome. So tell us about yoga. Have you what's up with yoga? Is it yoga has it just been your life?
Yeah. For the past 7 years, it's been my life. I originally went to school for broadcasting and film, actually, because I wanted to be Oprah. And shortly after graduating, I experienced like a sudden traumatic loss in my life that kind of just rerouted my entire game
Hmm.
plan, life plan. And so I was introduced into the world of yoga, which led into the world of holistic nutrition and health and wellness in general. And so for the past, that was in 2013. So I've been on my own yoga path in life for 7 years, but I've been teaching and working with clients in nutrition for the last 5, 6 years now.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what got you into nutrition?
Yeah. So within the first couple of months of practicing yoga, I was in a deep state of depression and severe anxiety, PTSD, all this fun stuff. And as I was moving my body, I started to realize like my body felt really good, and but with that, I started to realize that my mental health was clearing up. I was feeling lighter, I could sleep, I was craving healthier food. And at the time I had no idea what the mind body connection was. I had no idea what was happening. And so I started researching and asking more questions, and then someone just said to me, yeah, like, like your everything is connected, right? So like 75% of your gut is connected to your brain, and so how you are operating within your physical body is affecting your mental health. Um, and I was so blown away by this idea that everything is connected, and so I kind of jumped into school for holistic nutrition just to pursue this path, because it was so healing for me. And so yeah, so for me, that's where I got into. I was so passionate about learning about nutrition and have been ever since.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff as well too. It's interesting why that's one thing I learned early on as well on my journey as well, because I never really, like you said, the mind body connection, just the whole how it always goes in a sense. And something that's always stuck with me as well too, because I always think about myself when I get into certain states, whether it's like just not being productive or not feeling too good or whatever. It all goes back into the posture. It also goes back into like how I'm holding my body, what I'm doing, how I'm breathing, and all these different things. And the minute I change that, all of a sudden it becomes different. And I keep that's something. It's like I always have to kind of bring myself to the awareness of it, because sometimes you kind of get caught up in your thoughts, and you think the thoughts is really what's causing it, but the minute you start moving your body and stuff, all of a sudden these thoughts disappear and something else just comes about. And it's pretty interesting that you kind of experienced that, because you said you felt that there was a certain place where you were at in your life, you felt a certain way, you thought certain things, but then when you introduced yoga, that kind of changed the game for you. So what's your recommendation? Should everyone be doing yoga?
I mean, I might be biased, but yes. But to add to that, I will say, so within yoga, I won't go too far into this, but within yoga, we call it 8 limbs.
Hmm.
And so there's in one limb of it, like one branch of yoga is the asana, which is the physical posture, which is what most people see and attribute yoga to being. But yoga is such a way of life, And so we, if you're breathing, you're doing yoga. If you're, there's different levels and states of it. So in a roundabout way, though, yes, I will say everyone should be, and it kind of is doing yoga all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually tried yoga back because I used to live in Africa.
Mm,
I lived there for a year and a half, a place called Zambia, and but when I was back there, there was like 6 or 7 of us living in the house,
mhm.
and I remember we used to work out together. And the first time I experienced yoga, I thought it was just like what is this yoga thing? Because we were doing like this program called P90X. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember. Mhm.
But there was a part in that, I think it's like the recovery day or something out of the week, either the weekend or something. But it was yoga, and I was like, I'm not doing this stuff. I was like, you can't get a workout from yoga. But when I tried it, I was like, oh goodness, like holy crap, this thing is like this thing is its own beast in itself, right? Yeah. So you teach it, huh?
Yeah. How do I teach it?
But I said you teach it, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I
How
teach yoga.
yeah,
Yeah.
how do you become an instructor for yoga? Is it just something you just do so and you just get so good that you just teach? How does that happen?
Yeah, you get certified. So you would take either an online training now, I guess, or you would go through a studio and do a minimum of 200 hours for your first teacher training.
200 hours?
Yeah, yeah. I have almost 600 hours of training.
Hmm.
But yeah, the first training that people usually do are 200 to 250.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Do you get like a yoga badge or something? Like, do you have a whole bunch of badges you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
on?
Old sash, yeah.
Yeah,
Old
every hour.
medal, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Now, what about the lifestyle coaching side of it? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So when I started working with clients for nutrition and with yoga individually, what started to happen was like really when you're working with people so intimately and you're learning about them as a human being and their triggers and learning all of these different aspects of them that affect them not only physically but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There becomes a dialogue between me and that client that really turns into coaching because we're talking about things that are really lifestyle related. So over the last few years, I've been using nutrition and lifestyle coaching kind of interchangeably because that's just what it is. So when I'm working with clients, it's about I'm checking in with them, how they're feeling, but really being able to like I've been on the other side of not being aware or healed and in a different space. So I'm coming from that place and I'm coaching them through, how to get through it. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, so just kind of being like a cheerleader is also kind of how I associate being a lifestyle coach as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And with lifestyle coaching, does it encompass everything, like from, as you said, nutrition, health and wellness, fitness, spirituality? Does it encompass everything? What all is included?
Yeah, I like so it yes is I guess the shorter answer in kind of everything in the sense of really how people are operating in their day-to-day lives. So they're like their well-being practice uh, under the umbrella of their lifestyle.
Hmm.
So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Now, how is this doing what you do, the lifestyle that you live right now? How is it a lifestyle you designed? Because I know there's a lot of individuals who, whether it's coaching, consulting, offering services, for them, they have a dream, a vision of what they could be doing or want to be doing or how they want to help the world. But then they're stuck at maybe, say, this 9 to 5 job, just working for the man, doing all these different things. And they just don't believe they can go out and do something and create something of their own. With what you've done here, would you say it's something you've designed, or was it just something that just you're not where you want to be, or is this something you designed?
Definitely something I have designed so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so great to always have goals and different goals and working towards something. So I still have my Oprah mindset. I'm always dreaming big picture and and moving forward with things. But yeah, I've definitely, I think, you know, as an entrepreneur, or I call myself a yogi-preneur, you kind of have to design your life. So yeah, so it's still forming, it's still in a process for sure, but where I'm at right now is by design.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, good. Now, what about a story from your past that's led you to where you are today? One of the questions I like to ask is, hey, what's a story? What's something that you could share with us? Maybe you've never shared it anywhere else, right? But something you could share, a story that kind of made you into the person, the success that you are today. Do you have any
Hmm.
of those?
Yeah, I love personal stories. It's great. Well, this is something that I have shared before, but
Oh, well, you can't share it now. We gotta
I
find a
know.
new one. I'm just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding. Go
need a
ahead.
dark secret, I know.
No, go ahead. It's
Um,
fine.
so the reason I got into yoga was I unexpectedly lost my mom, and it was very, very traumatic and sudden. And this was a person who was the love of my life, and I was 22 at the time, and kind of being present when all of this chaos happened was a lot, was definitely a lot to take in. And you know there so I went through a really, really, like, it wasn't a pretty picture. It was, messy, and there was I've been on the end of addiction. I've witnessed addiction, I've experienced it. And it's yeah, and so that was a big thing. I One of these big changes for me was, I remember, in one of the lowest times of my life, like, I think I had gained maybe 40 pounds. My skin was a different color, my hair was falling out, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, like, things were really not pretty. And it's I remember just making this decision that I fortunately knew someone who was connected to a yoga studio, so introduced yoga to me there that way. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start going to yoga tomorrow. I'm going to go every single day because I had nothing else going on. And so that was the only time I ever left my house, was for an hour or 90 minutes a day. But I went every single day. And that's where I started to notice all of these changes, that really started to really transform my life and save my life. So it's been a journey, and it still is, but that's been my big, kind of, catapult into the world of health and wellness.
Yeah, that's so powerful as well too. There's always this friend, right? The friend that says, "Hey, you gotta do something. You gotta get out of this," right? Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show as well too, because I know that with what we do, we're so connected today. Like, it's pretty easy to sit at home with everyone being on lockdown. Pretty easy to sit at home and say, "Well, poor me," or this and that, and all these different things. Versus, it's another thing to hear someone else's story of how they kind of work through some of the most challenging times in their lives and see what they did, and to say, man, that sounds pretty interesting. Let me go try that, just to see how it could kind of help me as well too. And I believe that's so important to do today. So that's one of the reasons I definitely wanted to have you on there to share your experience in terms of what you do. So what does working with you look like? How do you have an actual yoga studio? How does that look with your yoga side of stuff?
Yeah. So before all of the lockdown, I was traveling to clients' homes and
Mm-hmm.
working with them that way. I've shifted everything online now, so I virtually work with clients, guide them through practices. And I so working with me is great. It's a great time where you become friends, get to know each other. But I either work with clients doing, if they just want to do yoga, they can do, just yoga. But I've created a transformation package that's 3 months long, and we work together once a week, about 75 minutes, and I combine nutrition, lifestyle coaching with movement. And that's for, those who are really struggled, who are kind of just craving change and know that they deserve to live, to like reclaim their life really. So yeah, so working, and so everything again is online right now, so I just meet with them through Zoom and send them, I'm holding them accountable, sending them check-ins and recipes and all these different things. And yeah.
Yeah. So you, when it comes to the nutrition side of things, you actually help with meal planning and that type of stuff. You go that in detail into it?
Yeah, so if someone does want to do, yes, so yes, I do meal plans. um if and I go a little bit deeper for sure if they're doing, if they just want to do nutrition. It always depends on what the goal is and what I'm working with. But yeah, I do meal plans. I kind of check in, and I kind of do like cleaning of their kitchen, their fridge. We do like grocery store tours, and like, let's eliminate this, incorporate this. And yeah, it's a process.
Really?
Mhm.
So you have them get rid of pizza and all that stuff?
No, you know what? So this is the thing. I'm also a very realistic yogi and nutritionist. Um, Believe me, I didn't come into this world holding a green smoothie. And I have just found that there are really great substitutes for things um that are labeled as like junk food or something, let's say. But also, so that I started to have to like make my own recipes and figured out ways to be able to offer for clients. But I also am not someone to ever say just completely get rid of something that makes you happy. If pizza once a month or something is like your thing and you love it, then I think you should have it. It's going to cause you more stress to be like, I can't eat this, I can't eat this, or feel guilty about eating it. I think life is too short, so I think you should eat what your body needs. So I'm a very intuitive based nutritionist when it comes to that as well.
Okay, okay, good, good. So in essence, I'm seeing that I don't have to get rid of my pizza then. Okay, good. I guess we could still be friends
We're
now.
fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Now, what's your vision right now based on where you are in your business and what you're working towards? What's that big picture vision that you have?
Yeah, well, it's funny. My big picture is actually, I think, just staying online. And like, as much as I love working with people and having that connection, that human connection. um but I am one of those people who, I think, once all of this started to happen, it was one of those, I don't know if blessing in disguise is the right term for it, because everything is, there are horrible things happening. But just to but for right now, I'll say that, because I've realized how much of a larger audience I can reach. I can work with more people actually during this time, and working online, and it's still so efficient and so effective. And so it's actually a goal of mine to kind of just work all online. And yeah, and I'm launching, I created an 8-week program that I probably wouldn't have had the time to do, unless all of this happened. So that's launching June 22nd. And yeah.
Yeah, online is just the best, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm so old school, or I thought I was really old school and never thought I would have loved working online, and it's changed my life.
Yeah, yeah, online is, and that's one thing because my mom, she's in the Caribbean and she's still in the island, St. Lucia, and I'm always like talking because I'm like, man, growing up, because I grew up in the Caribbean and technology, I remember um, when I was in the Caribbean, my dad was in the US, and to call, I had to like go to this payphone, and it would cost like $50 or something for like talking for like 10 minutes or something. And today, seeing technology with video conference and all these different things, where it's like you could just do this for like free, like you're in or Canada right now, right?
Mhm.
I'm in the US, I'm Indiana, and like we're having this conversation here, and it's almost like there's no boundaries anymore. Like we're they were literally like, we're just like neighbors who could just jump on and say, hey, what's going on there, neighbor?
Yeah,
Like you could really just do stuff like that. So it's just a game changer. So you definitely see the online being your thing. Okay, cool. Now, so you actually, what about your clients? Are they enjoying the online aspect of it as well too?
yeah. I think there was some resistance a little bit
Hmm.
for only a couple of them, I would say. But you know what? For the most part, I have to say they're loving it because it's still so convenient for them, and the there's there's a difference between when I'm working with clients in terms of yoga, let's say, there's a difference between me physically adjusting someone and being able to kind of shift and move their body in a way for proper alignment or for safety or whatever it may be. But it's very different to be cueing someone through a screen and getting them to actually learn to listen and understand their own body so that they can actually remember what that feels like, so that they it's not just like, oh, a one-off where like they're touched, they're adjusted, and then their body that kind of just dismisses it because oh, the teacher's there. But now they're really like the progress is even getting a little bit more fast tracked because they're able to connect to their body more, because they're the ones who are actually having to move their bodies in ways that it needs.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really, really beautiful to see.
Yeah, awesome. Now, in your life, as far as being where you are today, what's the one skill? What would you say is the one skill that you've kind of developed that what you'd say is responsible for all of your success? I know there's probably a lot of them, but what would you say is the one core skill?
Yeah, I think my ability to see people for who they really are and to connect with people.
Hmm.
It's been, yeah, I think it's something that I've kind of always had. um I do my best to create a safe space for everyone, and so from doing that since I was a child, just being able to honor people for who they are and who they really are and see them. I would have never known that would have translated into a career, but in it has. And so I think that's been something that's really kept me going, and really brings me deep connections with people and clients alike.
Yeah. And next question, I just invented this question right now,
Yeah.
but what's in terms of habits wise, right? So there's always a saying that if you want to improve your life, you got to improve your habits and stuff like that. What do you believe is the one habit that if someone just said, okay, I'm going to focus on this for maybe say the next year and just develop this one habit, it'll have the biggest impact on their lives? Do you have any one particular one you would say could be the thing?
Okay. I have a million answers. One that's just coming up for me right now, I think, is self-reflection. I think self-reflection, whether that's in the form of an hour-long meditation or 5 minutes to be able to reflect on something about your day, or something that you feel, or something that happened. Self-reflection is so important, and we try to avoid it and push it away. We don't understand it. We're not comfortable with getting to know ourselves. We don't know how to do it. And so, but the more that you are able to self-reflect, the more that you can then see people and recognize behaviors and understand things that are happening not only internally but externally. So self-reflection is 100% a huge, huge, huge game changer.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty important one as well. So I know it's something that whenever there's certain places I get to, like I sometimes in my life, my business, I push so hard because I consider myself like an overachiever. I'm always seeking out the next level, the next level, the next level. And I keep pushing so hard, but there's always a point where I just hit this wall and I just cannot seem to break through something. And just what you said, that self-reflection is the key, because there's always something that's going on internally, and me actually going in and saying, okay, what is that thing? What's that emotional? What is that thing that's got me here, that's got me feeling this way, or whatever? And once I do that, that's when the kind of the breakthroughs, I guess you could say, shows up, and the doors open up. Okay, awesome, Shayla. Well, hey, appreciate you stopping by. I really had a blast,
Mhm.
and I know the audience probably did have a blast to listen to you share your story as well, to what you're doing, what you're up to. So, in essence, do you have any final thoughts before we end?
I mean, not. I have too many thoughts, so I I won't ramble. But no, just thank you so much. It's been so lovely connecting with you and speaking with you, and yeah, I really want everyone to just to learn to connect deeper to themselves and be kind. You know, be kind to yourself during this time, especially. Mhm.
Hmm. Okay, good. Now, what if someone wanted to reach out to you and connect with you? What's the best way to reach out?
Yeah, they can email me at hello at shaylavon.com, or send me a message on Facebook as well, as I'm online there a lot too. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I'll do, guys, and if you're watching this on the live or on the replay, just let me know. Just leave me a comment right below. But also Shayla's her information, how to contact her, will be right below this video as well too. So Shayla, hey, thank you so much again, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much.